Today I'm going to show you how to change the passenger side CV axle on this 2007 Honda Civic Si. First thing you're going to do is we're going to chalk the rear wheels. We're going to put chalk on both sides. Get the back of maybe a hammer, just knock it out. Like that. We'll put the tires back on. So if you see here, I put 3 lug nuts, 3 here, tighten it. It doesn't have to be torqued. But since we took out the center cap, we have access to the axle nut here. So you can see here, this axle nut has already been unstaked. Looks like somebody took it off, but if you did have one, all you have to do is get a flathead screwdriver. There's a little tab in here, and then you just like pry it open a little bit. But you don't necessarily have to, because we will be using a breaker bar and a pipe just to open this loose. So it's a 36 millimeter, and you're going to use a breaker bar and a pipe on this. Here's the 36 millimeter. We're going to put it on the axle nut. Here's the breaker bar. And of course, you are going to use this pipe for this. So now what you're going to do is just break it loose. Just make sure it's in tight right there. Okay, now that it's loose, what we'll do is we'll raise the car back up. Now make sure the car is on jack stands, and then we'll just take out the wheel. Now we can, since you loosened the axle nut already, you should be able to just turn it by hand. Just like that. You don't have to put it out all the way. Just make sure, like, maybe leave a little bit on top right here, just like that, so you don't mushroom up the this end of the spline right here. And then you should be able to just get either like a rubber mallet or a hammer. If you do have a hammer, just be careful you don't like mushroom out this end right here. But it should be the end of the axle should go in just a little bit. It should move. There you go. And now you should be able to, if you take it out, you should be able to just slightly push in the axle. So if you do like this, it should go in. So these 3 here, they're 17 millimeters. These 2 nuts and 1 bolt here will take it out. Now that you've taken the bolt and the 2 nuts out, you're going to come right here and you're going to separate the control arm from the ball joint. So come to this little gap right here, stick a pry bar in here, and then pry it out. Okay, now we can just take out the axle nut. Should be able to just push it right through. If not, just use a rubber mallet and just hammer it out. Take it out and you just like lay it down here. Now you're gonna have to get like a drift punch or a piece like an extension like what I have here. You put it against here, the drive shaft here, and you're just gonna hammer it out. I don't know if you can pry it out because it's connected to this middle shaft here. So put it right here, and then you just hammer it.
One.
Okay, now that's out. Now we'll take it out and we'll compare it to the new shaft. So you just want to make sure the length is the same, but the parts should be relatively similar. There may be a few parts that may not be there, but it's okay. So right here, looks like the length is about the same. Okay, that's it. The spline in here should have a little grease. If it's dry, you can just spray a little grease in there, or use one of those pastes and just put it in there so it's easier to slide in.
One.
Okay, so to put the axle back in, you make sure that it's straight in. Do not put it in an angle because that'll be harder. So if you need, have someone hold the brake all the way to the side, or what I did here was have a bungee pull it over to the side so I can push it straight in. If the first time it doesn't go in, turn the axle a little bit and then push it in again. But after a few tries, it should go right in and it should snap into place. And once it's in, we'll take the axle nut out. And we will take the bungee out. And we will slide it in here. Recording. Okay, so once you get the axle nut in, just put it in a little bit, because what we have to do is we have to put the ball joint back onto the under the control arm. Okay, position your ball joint here right close by here, so move it however you need to. And then we're just gonna get the pry bar, and then we're just gonna try to put it back into these little holes here. Okay, and now we're just gonna bolt on the two nuts and the two bolts. The two nuts and the one bolt. Now we are going to tighten the axle nut, torque it, then we're gonna stake it. So we're going to set it to, I believe it's 181 foot-pounds. So that's 181 foot-pounds. That's about right. Okay, let me come through. What we'll do is we will stick a screwdriver in here just to lock the wheel from spinning. So you want to put it in this little groove just like up here, but you're going to stick it right in here. Right there. Then we will just torque it. After we torqued it, now if you come look at this little, I guess this little tab here, we are just gonna use a chisel, sort of put it right there, and then we'll just hammer it. Put a little stake into there. Okay, now that, as you can see here, it's staked down. Take out the screwdriver. Then we'll put the wheel back on. Now we got the wheels on the ground. We're gonna torque each of the lug nuts in a star pattern. So I think you're gonna go right here, this one first. 75 foot-pounds. Oh, did that just click? I don't know. And the wheel lock is the last one to torque. I just like to go a second time just in case, just to double check. Now we'll just put the center cap. So right there, and just tap it in, just like that. Don't forget to take the wheel chocks off the back of the wheels. And then now you are pretty much done. If this video helped, give me a thumbs up or a like. And if you have any questions, you can just put it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.